What is going on, everybody? My name is David and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Life of a Network Engineer. And in this video we're just going to discuss a very basic topic, and that is, what is computer networking? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into that. So exactly what is computer networking? Well, let's see what Cisco have to say about that. Go to Google and here we go. I already have it pulled up. So here's the question. What is computer networking? Computer networking refers to connected computing devices such as laptops, desktops, servers, smartphones, and tablets, and an ever-expanding array of Internet of Things devices. That will IoT stand for Internet of Things devices such as cameras, door locks, doorbells, refrigerators, audio and visual systems, thermostats, and various sensors that communicate with one another. That's pretty much what a computer networking is in a nutshell. However, what they didn't bring up is they didn't bring up the actual networking devices such as LAN switches or layer 2 switches and routers, because routers is the network device that takes the source of that information and route it to the destination. That's the purpose of a router. Is a router basically sound like what it is. It's a router that route packets. That's what it is. It routes packets. So that's why it's called a router. And I actually have some actual pictures of a switch and a router. So we'll look at a switch first. Here's a network switch right here. This is a 2960S 48 port PoE, power over Ethernet switch. So it's 48 ports, and what happens is your laptops or your computers or servers or printers or whatever, normally the environment will be in cubicles where you have a computer connected to a port in the wall jack, and the cables behind the scenes, behind the walls, up in the ceilings, they go to one of these layer 2 switches right here. This will be considered a layer 2 access switch. A layer 2 access switch, and it'll connect to one of these 48 ports. And the way these ports is labeled is all the odd numbers are on the top of the switch right here. So this will be port 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. And then this will be at the bottom 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, or whatever, all the way until it hits 48. And then you have ports 49 and 50 right here, which majority of the times are your gig uplink interfaces. So that's what a layer 2 switch is. A switch is pretty much connect end user devices to the network. And next we will go to a router. And here's the router. This is the front of the router right here. And this is a 2911 series router. So this is the front of the router. That's the power supply, where your power supply connects to this port right here. And here's the back of the router itself. And these are slots where you can add, this is the basically slots, like line slots, where you can add extra serial connections or fast or gigabit Ethernet connections or whatnot. So this is a 2911 switch. Not a switch, but a 2911 router. Sorry about that. And I actually have a design using Packet Tracer. So let's click on Packet Tracer and see what's going on. So here's the network right here. Again, we have these PCs, well, laptops, 2 laptops, a PC, a 2960 switch. It's a 24 port switch, and I have this whole area right here considered to be San Diego, California. And then on this end over here, this is Dallas, Texas. So again, this is the switch right here. Here's the router going to the internet service provider, back to the Dallas location, the LAN switch, and more laptops and PCs. And here are the IP addresses that makes up computer networking as well. So that you could look at an IP address on a device as like the street address of your home address. That's basically what an IP address is. That's how you should look at it. And the best way to really put in your mind as far as what is computer networking is just think of the mail service. Just think of like FedEx or UPS, for example, as far as, you know, sending out packages or ordering things off Amazon or whatnot. And just think about that as, sorry about that. Just think about that as, let's say you live in California and you have a brother that lives in Miami, Florida, for example, and you would like to write him a letter. Well, without his address, what good will that be to send him a letter? It doesn't serve a purpose, because you drop a letter in a mailbox, and on the envelope it doesn't have an address. So what happens is, when the post office gets that letter, they're going to discard it because they don't know what to do with it. Well, it's the same way with routers. If you don't have an IP address, so let's say I want to have this PC right here. Oops, I didn't mean to move that. Let's say you want to have this PC right here communicate with this PC right here. Well, if this computer does not know the IP address, let alone if this router itself do not even know how to don't know how to get to this network, how would you expect this router to send the data, like an email or whatnot, to this PC if it doesn't have a way to get to that PC? So that's where the router comes in at. And I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go into this San Diego router. Make this larger for you guys right quick. So we'll look at the routing table. So we'll do show IP route. As you can see, this network is 172, and actually, let me actually label this right quick. Sorry about that. Let me actually label this 172.16.10.0/24 subnet mask. We'll just put that right there, and let me label this 198.100.41.0/24 network as well. Actually, no, sorry about that, wrong one. It's 192.168.1.0/24. And sorry about the background noise that you hear. I just have my microphone right next to my gaming PC, so that's why you hear that. So I'm actually recording this video, and I have my microphone next to my gaming computer, so sorry about that. So we'll put this right here. There we go. So just look at computer networking like the mailing system. In order for you, the source, to send information to the destination, let's say you're writing a letter, you have to have the address, otherwise it's meaningless. It's the same way with computer networking. That's all it is. But let's go ahead and get back inside this router. The command line interface, that's what it's called. It's called a CLI, command line interface. And as you can see, the network of 172.16.10.0 is in the actual routing table right there. And it's basically saying from this router, for me to get to 172, actually let me slide this over a little bit. Here we go. What that router is saying, the San Diego router is saying, is for me to get to 172.16.10.0/24 network, I leave out, I go to the next hop, meaning the next router that has 198.100.41.1, and for me to get there, I'll leave out my serial interface of 030. Well, let me slide this over so you guys can see. So if this PC would like to talk to a PC in Dallas that's over here, it would know how to get there because this router knows about it. And it knows about it because if you look at the code D, that stands for EIGRP, which is the Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. So the San Diego router knows how to get to the Dallas network because of the routing protocol of EIGRP. That's why you have the letter D right next to the actual network, which is over there at the Dallas location. And when you see C, meaning connected and local, well, the connected just means, okay, the network that's connected on my LAN. And as you can see, 1.0 is over here. And the local 192.168.1.1 is this actual interface right here, gigabit 0/1. That's the actual IP address of that interface. So 192.168.1.1 is the IP address of that interface. So that's how this router, again, knows how to get to the Dallas network. And it's going to be, of course, vice versa. So let's go to the Dallas network. And let's see what we have over here. We go to enable. Show IP route. And there we have it. It knows how to get to the 192.168.1.0 via the next hop, meaning the next router's interface of 198.100.41.5, which is right there. That's why I labeled .5, .6, .1, .2. So what happens is, if this PC, let me minimize that. If this PC want to talk to this laptop over here, the data builds up. It goes out to this switch. This switch would then shoot up to this router. The router will look at the destination IP and they'll say, hey, okay, I know how to get there. So what it does is it will send, from a real basic level, it'll just send that data to its next router IP address, next hop, I should say, which is .5. And then let's see what the internet service provider say. Show IP. Actually make this a little larger, I should say. Let me make this larger right quick. Show IP route. And it knows how to get to the San Diego location as well, of 192.168.1.0. and see, it says for me to get there, I go to the next hop router, which is 198.100.41.2, which is right here. And then it'll send that data along the serial link. It'll go to the router. The router would then look at the destination IP address. Well, actually, it'll strip off the layer 2 information, look at the layer 3 information, which is IP, and then look at the destination IP address and say, okay, I know how to get to the 1.4 network, and then it shoots it down to this LAN switch. And what the LAN switch does is it look at the packet, and it'll actually look at the destination MAC address. So it'll have the MAC address of this, the MAC address of this laptop, and what it would say is, okay, I'll just send it out my port, which is, what port is this? I believe it's port 1. And then it goes up to the laptop. So let's actually do a ping test. Let's actually see if I can actually ping 172.16.10.100 from 192.168.1.4. Let's see if I can ping. So I go to command prompt. I make this larger for you guys to see as well. Slide this over a little bit. Okay, let's ping. And this is a very good troubleshooting skill. Once you get into this field, if that's what you're interested in, please utilize this command ping. It's a fundamentally sound troubleshooting skill. Well, I'm not gonna say skill, but a mechanism, I should say. It's a troubleshooting mechanism. So you always start off with ping. So let's see if I can ping 172.16.10.100 from 192.168.1.4. If I get replies back, that's not good. So 172.16.10.100. Let's see what happens. There we go. Now you may ask yourself, out of the packets, it says it's sent for paying responses, and it only got 3 back. Well, 1 got lost, and the reason they got lost because of ARP. So let's see, show ARP. Let me see. Let me see, what is the command on Packet Tracer as far as display ARP entries? All right, ARPs /A. And see, there we go. So what happened was the first ping packet got lost because it didn't know the MAC address of this interface of gig 01. It didn't know the actual MAC address, and that's the MAC address right there of that interface. And as you can see, that's the IP address. But just to make sure, so you guys can see what I'm talking about with this, let's just remember CD02. Let's remember the last 4 of this MAC address of CD02. So I'll go back to this router and I'll do this. Show interface gigabit 0/1. And see, hardware gigabit Ethernet address is talking about the destination MAC address. Let me actually see if I can actually pull both of them up at the same time. But nope, it won't allow me. But look, 0001, 0001. And let me go back. C9A9, C9 Alpha 9, CD02, CD02. And then you can also tell too, because look at the IP address, 192.168.1.1. We come to this router, back to the router, and here's the IP address of that interface, of that port, 192.168.1.1. Now let's see if I actually turn this interface off over here. So let me raise this up some. And I'm actually going to turn off this interface. So we'll go to conft interface gig 01. And the command you would do to turn off this interface is shutdown. So this interface is down. Let's see. Let's see if I can ping it again. Let's see what happens. The first ping went through. Let's see if I can ping it this time. Destination host is unreachable. Let's see if I can actually ping the IP address of this router. Let's see if the actual router down itself over here in the Dallas location. So we're ping 198.100.41.6. Well, I can definitely ping this router, so the router's not down. And this is how the troubleshooting scenario will work. So let's just talk about a quick troubleshooting scenario. So basically what you would do is, let's say this interface down. Or I try to, send information and that person say over here, oh, I didn't get your email. I'm not getting your email. I'm not getting your email. Or whatnot. What you would do is, you'll start off from this laptop and you will ping your default gateway, meaning this is the default gateway of your local area network to get you out to the internet. So let's ping 192.168.1.1. So I can ping 1.1.1.1. There's nothing wrong with this router. Let's see if we can ping 198.100.41.2. Well, I can ping this interface right here. So this goes to show me that there's nothing wrong with this router. So now let's see if I can ping the internet service provider's router on this end, which is .1. I can ping it as well. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this router or these interfaces that's connected to one another. They're basically neighbors. So let's see if I can ping .5. So that will be 41.5. I can ping that as well. But of course, we've already pinged .6 earlier, but let's just do it again for troubleshooting purposes. Okay, so I can ping this. So this goes to show me that there's something going on with the interface going downstream to the local area network that's facing the local area network. So what you would do is you'll come to that router. Basically, you can remote into it, but I don't want to make the time to do that right now. So let's just go ahead and get into this router, and then you can use a command, and you will start off saying, if I can't ping these IP addresses over here, let me see matter of fact, let me start from this laptop. Let's say there's you're troubleshooting. Let's say, okay, I want to ping my default gateway. Let's see what happens. Ping 172.16.10.1. Let's see what happens. And by the way, destination host unreachable is basically saying this router doesn't know how to get to that route. Remember, let's see if the route, matter of fact, let's see if that route even still in the IP address table. So let's show IP route. If you notice, the 172.16.10.0 network is not even in the routing table anymore. So that's why you from this laptop, it said earlier, you scroll up some, destination host unreachable, because that route doesn't exist in its routing table. So that's why you see this. Always keep this in mind. If you ever see destination host unreachable, chances are that route is not in the routing table or the EIGRP topology. So let's see what happens if I do that. Show IP EIGRP. If I can type topology. As you can see, that 172 network is not even in the topology table, my EIGRP table. Not the actual router. It's not in the routing table either, but it's not in my EIGRP topology table as well. Alright, so from this PC right here, this says request timeout because this is in the same local area network as this down interface. So you as the network engineer or network administrator, you will say, I cannot ping my default gateway. Okay, so let me get into the router and let me see what's going on. And you can use multiple commands to see if this interface is actually up. Since you guys seen the show interface command, let me give you guys a different command. So, and this is one of my favorite ones. Show IP interface brief. As you can see, gig 01 with the IP address of 172.16.10.1 is administratively down. And the interface is down, so let's go back and turn this interface on right quick. You can say, that's the issue. The interface is down. Okay, so you do config T or conf T interface gig 01, and then you do the no shutdown command or no shut. Either one will work. Interface is back up. Now let's go back to the San Diego router and see what happens. Now the 172.116.10.0, it knows about it again. And see, previously, before I actually brought this interface back up, as you see, it's coming back up. It wasn't there at first. Now it's there. So let's try it again from this PC. Let's see if I can ping it again. Because again, request timed out mean that it wasn't able to ping or reach the default gateway. So let's try now. I might get a request timeout because of up. It doesn't know the destination map. Now it knows it. Yup, see? There we have it. And then if I reping it again, it should be all four that go through this time. So that's it. And let's go over here. Let's see if I can ping from this router. And I know I will be able to. See if I'm able to ping it. Ping 172.16.10.1. And there you have it. So that's all computer networking is, guys. Is the computer networking to basically sum everything up. It's a bunch of network devices that allow communication between devices, between network devices. That's all it is. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video off. And what I would do is, if you are interested in network engineering or computer networking, going for Cisco certifications, which I'm doing right now. I'm currently studying for my CCNP Encore exam and my CCNP Advanced Routing exam. So those are the two certifications that I'm studying for right now. Really, I'm studying 3 because I'm studying for CCNP security as well, the SCORE exam. So yeah, guys, like I said, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what a computer networking is. And I will be posting more lab videos as well, where I'll talk about other things like Ether channel, VTP. I'll go into all of these things, routing, the commands that I use to establish EIGRP on all 3 of these routers, so they're able to communicate with one another. I'll talk about all that. But anyways, like I was saying before I got off topic, if you are interested in networking engineer, I will provide links in the description below as far as what type of books to get, what type of training videos to get, and I will also leave a link to the description to where you can download Cisco Packet Tracer, because this is a network simulator that helps you. It will definitely help you in your CCNA journeys. If you're interested in going for the Cisco CCNA certification, so the Packet Tracer will definitely help you out a lot. So yeah, guys, if you like what you see, please leave me a thumbs up. Again, like I said, I'll be posting more videos. I try to post videos 3 times a week. I'm going to try my best 2 to 3 times a week because, like I said, my schedule is kind of full right now. So, but I want to educate you guys, especially newcomers. I would like to educate you guys on computer networking, because I was at a time in my life where I wanted to do IT. I just didn't know where to go. So if this video can help you get on the right track, I'm happy. So with that being said, guys, I will be signing off. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.